This is the Girls of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today we're talking about 3 girls in love and how to create perfect harmony in that type of relationship by eliminating the fighting in the top 3 categories that couples fight about today. So let's get right into it. What are the 3 things that men and women in relationships today, in monogamous relationships, fight about? Money, kids, and sex. Let's find a solution for how to create harmony in 3 girls in love about these 3 things. Let's start out with money. First of all, on the Men of High Value channel, or to the guys that I coach specifically, I have told them about 3 girls in love. And there I tell them that in order for a guy to qualify to even be thinking about 3 girls in love, okay, and going towards that direction, he needs to be making $10,000 US, 2019 numbers, per month. $10,000 US per month in 2019 dollars. The reason why, and it's not from a job, this needs to be made in passive income. So we're talking about having an online business or having a regular business, traditional business, having any form of business that allows him to get passive income whether he works or not before he even thinks about 3 girls in love. He does not qualify if he does not make that much money. Obviously not. Before they join together, the guy will have revealed to them how much they're going to get together in their expense pool before they join together so that they know how much they're going to get. And if they choose that guy, then they know this is how much we get, and we don't have any choice whether that increases or when it increases and whatever. We just know that it'll never decrease, but we'll know that it'll always increase because he's got the motivation, we're rewarding him for it, and he's doing his duty, obligation, responsibility of creating more wealth. So it's smart for a guy to start low in terms of expenses, but how low should he really get? Because he would want to also attract the best possible women. So he wants to make sure he's got a very strong financial foundation, and that's fantastic for the women. Now, will there be inequality when it comes to that? There shouldn't be any inequality when it comes to stretching the dollar in 3 girls in love. If they know what the expense pool is, and these women have basically began to understand each other's nature and understand like their expense habits, etc., they will be able to have time and freedom to actually discuss these things and find agreements to how to spend the money. The problem in today's world and in monogamous relationship is that very often these days the man works and the woman works, and they're like, should we have a joint account? Should we not have a joint account? How do we do this? And in 3 girls in love, you've got the expense pool, everyone shares what's in it, you stretch the dollar and you make sure that it lasts, and you save up for things that you want to have money for. Because all of the other money that the man is making is for him to make sure that he never runs out. Which means that you never can tap into any of the other money. After you get that amount of money, that's the amount you get. So if you don't have enough money at the end of the month in 3 girls in love as a woman, that's because you spent it all and you're being rejected by the budget, not the man. So it's not the man burdening you because you accepted it when you entered into that relationship and you knew what the expense pool would be. And so if you don't have enough money anymore, then you just have to wait until next month because you know it's going to come every single month because that's the agreement. That's why there's no fighting. There's no fighting at all. Beautiful. The second aspect is kids. In monogamous relationships, very often there might be some fighting going on about when to have kids or how many kids you have, if you should have kids at all. There will also be fighting when it comes to how to raise the kids. And there will be fighting about who should wake up in the middle of the night and take care of the crying baby and who is going to do this and that and the other when it comes to the kids. And couples fight about how they're raising the kids. In Three Girls in Love, in many aspects, this has been chosen beforehand, and the other things that haven't been chosen beforehand will come naturally. Let me explain. What has been planned beforehand, before the relationship has been started, before anything, cohabitation has been going on, these women have agreed with the man of their choice, or the fathers have agreed with the men of their choice because the fathers know what the women desire. The men have agreed on the spacing of kids and when to have kids, and everything is settled beforehand. Birth control these days, it is pretty much so secure, so set, that it's like 99.9% of the time you'll be able to make sure that the women don't get pregnant at the wrong time. Birth control in Three Girls in Love is massively critical, and you want to make sure that the foundation is set up from the right angle so that there's no surprises. But the thing is that the women are in love with each other, and they're also in love with the man, and everyone hears everyone out, and they'll figure something out of what they want to do. But highly recommended from us is that you wait several years with having babies before everyone is joined together, everyone knows what's going on, everyone trusts each other, and it's the right timing to do so. Let's use the example of the crying baby in the middle of the night. In Three Girls in Love, now obviously the man, he has a lot of capacity when the child is born. He can choose to work or not work because he's got the money, okay? But if he chooses to be at work, then obviously the women would have to use every other night to be up with the baby, so that none of them basically lose capacity over time, because it's so hard in monogamy when you have a crying child, when you have a child that gets sick all the time. There's so much going on when you've got a kid. It's horrible that women have to experience that on their own and with the man who has no idea what he's doing. So when it comes to kids, women know how to nurture them. Women know how to take care of kids way more than men do. And men come in when the boys become at the age of 9 to 12. That's when the men begin to raise up these boys to become men, to become masculine men. And so they don't really have that much to do with how to raise the youngest kids, who are basically allowed their freedom and can explore and are being kept safe by protective mothers. So in that way, things kind of roll naturally when it comes to kids in Three Girls in Love. And if they have disagreements, again, they've got the time and money in order to have discussions, to figure it out, to do research, and to do whatever is best for the babies and the children, because everyone has capacity. That's what's so beautiful. So, capacity is a key word in Three Girls in Love. In monogamy, in this day and age, every generation that passes by in monogamy, everyone gets less and less capacity, because we end up drowning in life. It's so hard. But in Three Girls in Love, everyone's got capacity because the guy's out there making the moolah. Finally, let's talk about the sexual matters. Contradictory to what people would believe when it comes to sexual matters and the fighting that could erupt from jealousy and all that stuff, in Three Girls in Love, it actually works beautifully with amazing harmony. Number one, though, the man has the duty, obligation, and responsibility to learn the sexual arts, sexual kung fu, if you like, of knowing when to stop himself and controlling himself with ejaculation control. The man has to learn ejaculation control in Three Girls in Love, for obvious reasons. If he has prematurely ejaculated with one woman and during the sexual session they have together, he cannot fulfill the needs of the second and third woman. Now, will it happen once in a while? Sure. Okay, everyone makes mistakes, but then it's cute and it's funny and everyone's having a blast. But if it repeatedly happens again and again and again and again and again, obviously these women would be very disappointed. It is not acceptable for a man who has premature ejaculation problems to enter into a 3 girls in love relationship. It's not acceptable. And of course, they'll also learn over time. You know, in the beginning, if they're virgins, these guys, obviously there's no way to test them if they're actually able to control themselves. However, if there is a training, which we will have in the future, that makes it so that these guys know what to do once they've started that relationship, they're going to fulfill their obligations. No man wants to be in the situation of having premature ejaculation problems when he's having that kind of relationship. He knows that eventually he'll lose them because of a lack of equality and a lack of security that he's going to last. It is critical. Once we got that out of the way, we know that he lasts. The women can now finally discover their true sexual potential and find their deepest pleasures and desires fulfilled in this kind of relationship. And they get both the masculine aspect of it and they've got the beautiful feminine aspect of it, making it an amazing bond. The other aspect of sex of why they're not going to fight is because they're having sex together. Sometimes they do it separately, but it will be because everyone knows the deal and everyone's happy and everyone's fulfilled. And then other times they'll all be joined together in the same bedroom, enjoying each other's bodies because it's beautiful. And the reason why they can be together is because they've forgiven each other if there are tiffs or problems throughout the day. If there ever would be. When best friends are together and there's security and equality, why should there be any jealousy? And if there is any jealousy and fighting, it's because the man has not fulfilled his duty, obligation, and responsibility to provide security and equality for his women and making sure that their environment is amazing. That's his fault. It's not the girl's fault. And if the man takes 100% of the blame, then there's not going to be fighting when it comes to sexual matters. Welcome to 3 Girls in Love, the relationship whereby harmony, peace, joy, happiness is possible because the man understands female nature and he's the one who creates the environment, he protects the environment, and he provides for the environment, and he is massively rewarded for it, and the women get to enjoy what they want to do, when they want to do it, and they're all in on it, committed for the long term. This is the Girls of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. I'll see you in the next video.